The crypto revolution is happening as we speak. And the people that are building this stuff are the most competent and inspiring that we have ever met. If you're curious about DAOs, DeFi, NFTs, Web3, this is the place to be. We are Boy and Badger, two turbo artists on an adventure in the wild Web3. The DAOs are in the house. Let it rip.
Yeah. So take us away, Badgerton.
Who do you think is the voice of Craig?
I have no idea. Can you make him repeat?
No, I think there are like you can actually. How Craig?
It's like
there are.
Stephen Hawking's like sexy nephew, but he's also a bear.
I think there are like commands you can do with him. No, there's another bot maybe. Okay. No, haven't you? I would like a bot that you can use that makes I don't know funny sounds, like a soundboard bot.
If I had a podcast, I probably would.
Are you saying that we should have done this?
I'm not saying anything. You do you. I'm saying that if I did, I'd probably look into that.
Subtle.
You don't have a podcast, do you?
Yeah.
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay, nice. I'm happy to. I don't know. Join. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you'll join.
Okay. If I get you a bot.
Yeah, we can give you an NFT. I have one for
That's
the
nice.
JPEGVault.
Okay, I will start now. Today, my dear friends, on popular demand, we have a great friend back. We have SV2 from the JPEGVault community. Hey there,
Hello.
man. How are you?
Oh, hello. Well, I'm happier now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think I should have mentioned something else about you? Like, what are you famous for, except from the, you're not your DAO.
Well, I
No,
kind of
true.
am my DAO. I'm so looking forward to. I was talking to our lawyer recently, and I really want to dox myself, and he told me like just wait until you're incorporated. Just wait until you're not like carrying this on your shoulders anymore personally. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to it, to not be my DAO anymore.
Yeah, I can see why it would feel like easier to just remove all the clothing and just go butt
Fully
naked.
Butt naked into the wild.
Yeah.
For sure, man. It's that's how I like it.
What are you wearing right now?
Is this really how you want to start this podcast?
I think we did this when we talked with Sink as well. We started by talking about pants. He was wearing boxers, I think, white.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have too much respect for you guys to do this in my boxers. I'm at the office as well, so that would be kind of weird.
So what are you wearing at the office?
Black on black on black.
Are you a tech polo guy?
I'm the absolute opposite of a tech polo guy. I'm more of a hoodie and backward hat person.
Also,
have you seen
a very classic tech look.
Yeah, the Atlassian guy. He's like that.
The Atlassian guy.
Yeah, there's like an Australian guy that is really down to earth and cool and chill. All these nice traits.
Yeah,
and he created Atlassian.
Cool tech CEO,
Yeah.
No suit and tie.
No suit and tie, yeah. Oh man, haven't worn one of these in a while. Oh, the Aussie tech billionaire guy.
That casual. Shout out to the Atlassian guy.
Yeah, but he's cool. He had a TED talk about imposter syndrome, and I think it was like it was a good talk.
I'll check it out. Wait, was that Scott or the other one?
There are two. I think it's Scott.
Two Atlassian guys.
Scott Farquhar or Mike Cannon Brooks?
Let's just say it was Scott. Does it matter?
It's easier.
Yeah.
But it's the long hair guy that has a hoodie, and the other one does rocks the good old middle manager like jacket and t-shirt.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess the first one then.
I'll do my research later.
Yeah, we'll add some pictures here in the podcast
Yeah,
so
you should.
people understand.
People know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I was hoping SV2 that you would come out and say, finally someone talking about imposter syndrome. I'm also feeling it, but I guess you're not.
I'm not.
Yeah,
No,
nice.
I'm not. I've dealt with that early on in my entrepreneurial career.
Yeah.
No, man. Did you seriously wish that upon me? That's not really cool of you.
No, I mean, I was wishing for you to have this kind of moment, where you, finally, yeah.
Right.
It would be.
Are you trying to engineer this? Are you trying to
Is this
engineer this
podcast? I thought
moment?
this was a therapy session.
You're gonna
Why are we
have
here?
to dig deeper. My problems are a lot more deeply rooted than the surface and
Yeah, that's true. Creation.
creation.
What's your view on creation?
What are we talking about? I'm a little confused here.
How deep do you want to go?
I don't know. Wait, I thought it was my DAO. I thought we were supposed to talk about JPEG.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Your dad?
everything here. Your dad?
This is
are
how
you
you start.
substituting your family for the DAO?
I don't have a family.
But you do have a DAO.
No, I'm kidding. I do. I have
Great
a
segue. Great segue.
I have an Anon family.
You have an Anon family.
You want
And
to
you want to
them.
dox yourself.
I want to dox myself and yeah. Yeah,
Why-
everyone is really excited about doxing themselves.
They are.
Yeah.
Is that the new thing? 2022? That's the
No,
the
everyone,
trend?
I mean in our project.
Mm.
They wanna because it's really hard to there's people I want to reach out to, and there's people, so I'm based in France, and there's people in France I want to go to and become public and talk about what we're doing, and but there's just so much you can't really do that until you're properly incorporated, and because we have lawyers with us, but we still haven't taken the biggest decisions of where to incorporate, how to do it, how to deal with the SEC, and we want the IDO and the launch to have happened before we do that. So when that happens, I'm pretty sure that 90% of our team of our contributors will dox themselves, for those who haven't yet.
When you're talking about reaching out to other entities or individuals, is it for funding, or is it just for collaboration, or is it some other reason?
Collaboration, partnerships, and get the word out. I think I would love to. We will not be looking at funding anymore, because all tokens will pretty much be in the hands of holders. So the only way to get in will be to buy. But yeah, I wanna have an open conversation with institutions about the future of decentralization. We're definitely not going to incorporate in France, and I would love to be to publicly represent JPEGVault to go towards the French institutions and European and even American, to kind of have that conversation with them of hey, we want to be proactive in that regard. We want to do things right, and I can't really do it now, and it's easier. It brings a little bit more scrutiny, and it brings more eyes, but it creates a debate to do this publicly. So yeah, that's a part of the project that I'm really looking forward to.
I think it's a smart move. Do you have these scooters in France? These electrical scooters?
Yeah.
I had a course in school back in the days when these were new, and my what do you call it? The conclusion that we had was that it's probably not so smart to just start like dumping them everywhere, because like politicians are kind of your most important customer, because if they say that you can't have them because you kind of abused the goodwill of the open spaces, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
So just trying to
completely.
be proactive is like the way to go, I think, in the end.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's such an interesting comparison, because I wonder how it would have gone if one of the actors had decided not to go the dump route, because the competition got so big so fast that I wonder if not dumping would not have been shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I just try to get like a good grade.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
But I honestly believe that that's the only way that you could have like positioned yourself in order to avoid the competition. You would have less scale because you wouldn't get all the markets, but you could position yourself as like responsible. You could partner up with local schemes like collective, what do you call it, public traffic, public transport, become part of the system.
Yeah, that's true.
Plug into it.
Yeah, instead of trying to like, you don't have to revolutionize and put your like polarize all the time as long as, I mean, it's a scooter. It's not a
Not a rocket ship.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
But if you
Oh.
would take the scooter to like Paris in the 15th century, they would most likely think of it as a spaceship. So maybe it's a relative term as well.
I think they would say we need to invent streets.
They probably had
the
horse and
relativity of the
carriage
word
already.
spaceship. Wow.
Yeah.
We went deep. You were right.
Yeah, you
Everything's
like, yeah,
relative.
you don't need roads for a spaceship. Also true. They probably wouldn't call it a
You don't.
spaceship though, because they wouldn't have a understanding of a spaceship either. Probably call it like, I don't know, a carriage, like a electrical mini pony horse carriage.
Say that in French.
Un petit cheval électrique. Oui.
I don't even know how to say carriage in French.
You don't?
Isn't that a French word?
Carriage? No.
Yeah. Carriage.
Garage. Garage.
Garage.
Garage. Chariot.
Chariot. Yes.
Chariot.
What it would be.
Calèche. Calèche.
Calèche.
All right, and we've just lost 70% of the audience.
No.
This is how you do it. Like Drunk Boy did it. We made a mix this Friday, like just playing around with some music, and he started with just taking the pitch and just pitching, for like a minute, and then it's like, so now we can do whatever we want, and the only people listening, they will enjoy it.
Because they already know what they're into.
Yeah.
So, thank you, listeners, for continuing to tuning into this episode of Sleep Deprived SV2 and Badge and Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From here
if
on
you're
out,
still
it's gonna
here,
be...
Here's where the alpha is dropped after
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
So what's the alpha?
Yeah, you tell us.
What should we buy right now?
Yeah, tell us what's the alpha.
Right now, we're giving out whitelist to Italian drop, the Italian collection, and it's an NFT collection that I've been telling people to watch for months. I bought mine first in September, and it's one of those, like, you have multiple ways to approach building a project. You either have a balanced approach towards building the foundation and building the more superficial layers like marketing and hype and all of that. And I think Italian has been doing like the perfect balance, probably weighing a little bit more on working on the foundation and not being as vocal, not building as much hype, but they've built such like deep, good partnerships, and they're one of these projects out there that they understand Web3. They're building for Web3. They're building for the future, and it's finally starting to take off. And I'm so fucking here for it. So yeah, that's definitely what I would be buying right now. We bought 20 of them a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
And right now, as we're recording this, you have an open whitelist for the JPEGVault community.
Yeah.
Or is it a lottery?
I don't think it's going to be that much of a lottery because we have 25 to give away, and
Okay,
we're
okay.
doing this a little bit last minute. So it's probably going to be the first 25 to sign up. But there will be a lot more of these in the future. We want to partner with projects, and we want to start offering more whitelists, and yeah, there's going to be a lot more of that in the future of JPEG for our holders for sure.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense for projects, the way I see it, to partner up with a group of people that are already like interested in the NFT space, kind of familiar with Web3, instead of just shooting haywire everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course. What's the hottest trend in the NFT space right now?
The
I've
hottest
seen there's
trend.
a lot of female-led projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
latest.
They're pumping right now. They've been here for a while, and World of Women had been doing well, but kind of stagnant for a while, and they started just really ripping again not so long ago, and everyone followed. Like Crypto Chicks followed, Fame Lady Squad, which is another one of my favorites, started just blowing up again, and you see a lot more derivatives. But what's really fascinating about this is that male-led derivatives projects are 80% or 90 or 95% cash grabs, and
Who could have thought?
but women-led, yeah, honestly, but women-led projects are awesome because they're creating derivatives, but the derivatives are more mindful and thoughtful, and have a better cause at heart. So yeah, yeah, I'm here for this too.
Yeah, it's we always lose. I mean, depending on what you identify with, but we men, it's like we're really, really good at not thinking so much about everyone, and then the females come and they just make it so obvious how easy it can be to be a little bit more mindful.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what's awesome about the NFT space, is that it's really given a stage to inclusivity and empathy that didn't exist at all in crypto. Like people who've been in crypto for a while will know that like crypto Twitter is cynical and
Yeah.
and harsh and just like outright hateful at times. But NFT Twitter is like, there's obviously certain like niches and regions, but it's overall really kind and empathetic, and yeah, I love that. And women in the space help a lot in that regard.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean towards developers, but they can have a jargon that is like very straightforward.
Yeah.
Is that a nice way to say it?
That's
That's a
yes.
very nice way to say it.
I think
Yeah.
there's examples they can make, Gamergate, for example, or other in previous things where you have a lot of developer-like people.
What was
ignoring each
Gamergate?
other. Gamergate. It was I'm gonna botch it, so anyone listening to this and knowing exactly what Gamergate is, please
If you're a
reach
gamer
out to me on
and you
Twitter
want
and
to,
we'll talk on a podcast about Gamergate in detail. But in essence, there was some gaming communities that came together and totally just shitted on female developers and game designers.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
That's
follow that
nice.
well.
Oh, it's a very loving community at times that we're in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everyone in crypto would be a gamer, but I kind of see the same sentiment from time to time.
Yeah, that rings a bell as well. Did you guys follow the Beanie incident? Not incident, but the Beanie saga.
Oh, please tell us. The
Yeah,
Beanie
sounds
Saga.
very.
Do
What
you know
a-
about Do
what
you
a
know about
premise.
Yeah.
the JPEGVault project?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. No
we
idea.
have
JPEGVault
no idea.
JPEGVault is honestly one of the smartest. I don't know how to talk about them. They're a very smart group of people. They're doing stuff that in Web3, they're taking game theory in Web3 to just a whole other level. And one of the biggest, loudest voices that was contributing to that project was a guy called Beanie. And he, I don't know, probably one of the most famous figures by now in NFTs, because everyone's kind of heard about it. Everyone either supports him because he's made a lot of people a lot of money, or hates him because he's kind of an asshole. No, he's an asshole. And yeah, it's been fascinating seeing this evolve, because he was recently doxxed next to some very, very smart people. And yeah, it's really shedding some light on, hey, you're an anon, you are talking a lot of shit, and you can kind of remain an anon because you're on the blockchain, but there will always be traces or things that will tie back to your real life identity, especially if you're doing some really shady shit, because you're going to piss off a lot of people and people are going to look into you, which is exactly what happened to him. And so yeah, it's been really interesting to follow. If I were you, I'd try to find a few threads on the subject. I think I shared one. I'll try to send it to you. Yeah, it's this space is evolving every day. It's really fun to watch.
I get so many. It's like it's a little bit like a threat now. I feel threatened now since I talked shit to developers. I'm afraid they're gonna dox me. I'm
You'll be
thinking
fine.
about my traces.
You'll be fine. Oh
Yeah.
man, your empty threats cannot be even begin to compare to the kind of assholery that this guy's been pulling off for the past few months.
I think it's beautiful that the community is like really good at karming, doing some karma.
Yeah,
Karming.
use of karma.
I
The
like
good
that.
old what
Natural
comes around goes
consequences.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because Web3 might be the first society to kind of allow vigilantism, because
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, before we had the state, society still governed themselves one way or another.
Yeah, don't
It's-
get me started.
Yeah, don't get
Why
me
not?
started, please.
I want to get you started. You're
Yeah, okay.
intriguing, you know.
Yeah, it's. I don't believe in the state. I believe that you do what you want, and you might or might not take the hints from the guidelines put forth by some alleged authority. Does that make sense?
Kinda. I mean, it does, but it brings up more questions. Like, do you not believe in any form of state at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's two-way. I think the state is similar to like the patriarchy in that it's a useful concept to think about because it has some real-world consequences when you start to see it. But in the end, it's more like you don't have to abide. Like you can't blame the state for stuff, and you can't really blame the patriarchy for stuff. It needs people to believe in the idea for it to be true.
Okay. All right. We're more in an abstract conversation. I thought we went into like
Not all.
anarchy.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we are. This is anarchy for me, kind of. I mean, if I really wanted to, I didn't have to abide by all the rules, but most of them they seem pretty okay to me, so I abide by them
Yeah.
because it's what I would do probably, even if it was no book of laws written.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like
So in that,
Like-
and then I don't believe in the state, the other stuff. But that's more like coming from some kind of I don't know, anarcho. I wouldn't say anarcho-capitalism, but like syndicalism, maybe. I think DAOs are interesting because of this reason, to see how things evolve from the scratch. You have to come up with the rules. You have to agree. You have to have common goals. All these things, and we don't have a jury, judge, executioner in a DAO. But somehow things still happen.
Yeah.
People still collaborate. So these kind of questions.
apparently, if
Yeah.
you're a total asshole online, the community as such will govern you appropriately.
Yeah.
Which is also very
And there
interesting.
aren't any rules. Like no one knew. There wasn't like a specific law that said you can't be an asshole. It's just that if
Yeah,
you
People know it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if we will ever get to a point where, like, because the one of the best uses for blockchain would definitely be to create not just economic organizations, but also actual like state organizations.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we'll ever get to that where you just have a bunch of people working together to run this and bringing in their skills and being rewarded for the work that they do and not be in a top-down kind of situation. That would be fascinating. I'd love to
Yeah.
work on that.
Yeah, I think there are groups. A lot of Bitcoiners, I think, has this kind of mindset where they really don't want something to be top-down run,
Very much for
especially not like when it comes
decentralization.
to
But,
I've been the last few days. I've been listening to a guy called Jeff Booth. Who
shout
is,
out to Jeff Booth.
Yeah, shout out to my pal Jeff Booth. He's a kind of macro type guy. He's only focusing on what he says, or like what he thinks is like the most important like causes, and not like so much on the minor causes and noise and signals. And his basic thesis is digital innovation creates deflation. Prices go down. And with the current economic system, you always have to print more and more money. If you have, since the current system needs more and more debt. So, and if things get cheaper, you need to print more money to keep the prices inflating. And this itself is completely unsustainable. And that's like what's causing all the problems that we're having at the moment with, I don't know, currency wars, trade wars, general economic inequality, all these things. Because the more money you print, that will just cause big corporations to incorporate technology even faster in order to get rid of costs, which is people. And then you will have even more inequality, and then you'll have to print even more money.
Huh. Well, thanks. You just ruined my day.
That's what you would call a vicious cycle.
So what's the solution?
He's
There's no
he's
solution.
what do you call it? He is more like anarcho-capitalistic type guy. Austrian economy. They're really good at describing stuff, not with prescribing. But he thinks Bitcoin is like a really interesting way that might transition us into as like smoother to avoid, the big crash, because it's a bit like, you're fucked either way. If you stop printing money, you're fucked. If you keep printing money, you're fucked as well. So having Bitcoin as a kind of parallel system and a bridge that you can walk across without having this massive impacts and kind of nothing to replace it. That was his, I wouldn't say solution, but that's the game that he's playing.
And what does he talk about this in his latest book, the one that's on his Twitter?
Yeah, and I think he's a general, what do you call it, salesperson. He's a consultant. He works for Google, he works for Amazon, because he's really good at the macro stuff. He only focuses on big things. It's not going to optimize their sales, but it's more like, yeah, he's talking to Google and he says to them, well, you see Amazon, they're in a completely different business, but they can just add ads. You can't just add products. So you probably should start looking into the supply chains and everything like that if you want to compete in the long term.
It's fascinating.
He's trying
I'm
to
gonna buy his
future-proof
book.
Google.
Yeah.
Good for him.
If it's possible, sometimes you kind of the big tech companies, they build themselves into a corner where it's really difficult to like stop being if your complete model is like ads, then you just have to be more and more I wouldn't say manipulative, but like manipulative.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also have people in those companies becoming managers and senior executives using that very product. And then you're trying to tell them to disrupt themselves. Not always going to work.
No.
Usually it doesn't work. Someone else is going to disrupt them instead.
Yeah.
Man.
I was thinking about a segue into another thing that I really want to hear from you, SV2, but I don't have a good segue, so no segue. I'm just gonna ask it anyway.
That's a good segue.
It's a very good segue.
You've had a new launch of the token, and you've had a lot of things happening to the JPEGVault since we talked last time, and we don't need to hear exactly what happened, but I really want to hear what your learning has been from these
Yes.
last couple of weeks, and if there's like any big thing that you've really cemented now.
Give us the alpha.
Yeah, give us a glimpse.
Where do I even start? Yeah,
Beginning
it's
is always good.
what? Gaming?
A beginning is always
Oh,
good.
beginning. There's been so many beginnings and ends that that doesn't even cut it. No, it's really been hectic. It's been crazy. Like we planned to go for an IDO again, and the first IDO that we did, we got early adopters on board, and we said, all right, we're going to raise $120,000. This is the idea. We put together a website, started kind of building the community, and it worked. We raised it in 48 hours, and that was it. And so when time came to do this again, to do a second round, we kind of, I think we lowered our defenses and went, all right, we should probably do a website, but we don't really have the time right now. We have other things to focus on. We kind of have to do more work on the branding, on really pushing out into the world like what it is we're trying to build, what it is we're trying to rally people behind. And we thought, all right, you know what, this is for later. Let's just raise money now and then launch, and when that happens, we can throw money at marketing, bring more people in, and kind of get the cycle going, and we'll be good. That didn't work. We launched the second IDO, and kind of everything in the process was kind of done very naively, of just people working together and working together asynchronously. We didn't really have we have a very, like, the people that we're working with marketing are super smart, and I love working with them, but we didn't really have a marketing strategy. And when it comes to product development and website development and all of that, we have very smart people as well, but we didn't have the right process, the right systems in place. And so everything kind of just fell short. And also, it didn't help that the market crashed.
No,
That's
it,
right.
it usually doesn't.
Started crashing. Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. The market will have a way to remind you that it's always very nice to sell something out when the market is not doing very well, and
Yeah.
when it stops doing very well, and you fuck up and you're lacking, it's just brutal. And so we had the first 48 hours of the new IDO, and we're like, all right, we sold 4%. All right, we sold 6%. All right. And that kind of, I think we kind of stagnated around that 6 to 8 mark. And then so we started on a Monday, and that Wednesday was one of the worst days of my life, where everything just kind of hit. Like, I'm really tired. I'm very tired of the city where I live, and I need to go somewhere else, and this is not happening the way it was supposed to. And like the amount, the weight of the changes that needed to be made was just overwhelming. And so I spent a very very terrible day. And guess what? Ketamine came back into the picture, but that's for another story.
Whoop whoop. Good old.
Man, I'm okay. For anyone, disclaimer, I'm not I don't promote drugs or anything, but I gotta say that ketamine's has helped me out of some really difficult spots. So yeah, thank you. Hey God.
It sounds like a promotion.
Yeah.
It's not, but it is for me.
Yeah, it's personal. I get it.
It is. It is. No, it's not for everyone, and it needs to be done carefully. But it has a way of just kind of snapping you out of like the tunnel vision that you're in, where everything is dark, everything is gloomy, and you take a step back and you're like, oh, things are actually not that bad. And oh, if I look left and if I look right, there's actually a few solutions to my problems. And so
Yeah.
I had that terrible day, and then I like didn't even think about it, just did some ketamine that night. And I spent the whole night I didn't even want to work. I just wanted to disconnect for a little bit and chill. And I ended up picking up my computer, and I spent I don't know, just 2 hours thinking about, all right, this is one person I need to talk to, and that's another one, and this is what we need to change in terms of the marketing, and this is what we need to do in terms of the strategy. And then I didn't message people during the night, and I just waited until the morning. I didn't sleep the whole night, and messaged everyone around like 5:30 in the morning, and was like, all right, we're having a meeting at that point during the day. And we did everything. We reached out to the designers to start working on the website. Me and Lucas, who's the head of product, got back onto designing the content of the website, and we moved up a very important part of our roadmap that we were keeping kind of secret, and that I'm still low-key going to keep secret for a little bit, which is
There's
the
a
decentralized.
rumor that there are things to the roadmap that is not on the roadmap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it would be too easy if you just kept everything on the roadmap, and I know it's
There's
Web3. I
gossip
know
and
we're sharing
rumors.
everything, but huh?
Big fan
we are
of
we
gossip
are
and
we are
rumors.
actually we're head of the department of gossip and rumors here at Boy and Badger. So
We're
you
gonna
are
get
at the
along.
right place
along.
for spreading some rumors and gossip.
That's
Please
nice.
continue.
Well, the rumor is about the fact that we're going to slowly decentralize fund management. A big item that everyone has been asking us from the start was, are you going to let the community vote on NFT purchases? But one of
Nice.
the earlier lessons that I learned is that people don't want to make smart purchases, they just want to make purchases. Like every time we proposed a buy, everyone was just like, yeah, do it. And for the hype and I get it. I'm kind of like that too. There's this collection called Frog Lonely Wait, I need to find this because even just the name, Lonely Frog Lambo Club,
Whoa.
and
That checks
and
out.
yeah, and I asked everyone, oh, they've made some changes. Interesting. I asked people in the chat like, all right, this is kind of a degen move, but do you want to go for it? And everyone was like, yeah, let's go for it. And it completely did not do well. It didn't do anything. It was purely a degenerate move, and it didn't work out. And so that taught me that you can't, even in a DAO, you can't decentralize everything. There are some things that need to be left to people who actually know what they're doing, and buying NFTs is one of these things. But I still, I was making all the early decisions, and as time went on, there were a couple more people who joined in. Nuclear Cheese Guy, who was on here last time, who you guys loved, is one of them, and we talk about it a lot, and we're working on like our having a clear investment thesis and having a way to vet projects. But that's not enough. You can't call yourself a DAO if you have two people making most of the decisions, especially because in our plans, we're going to be managing millions of dollars worth of NFTs and digital assets, and you can't just be one person making those decisions. So we're bringing in more people, and that's going to be very exciting. It's going to happen in the next few weeks, and I can't wait. And I got completely lost in what I was saying. I've lost track of.
This is gold. This is gold.
And this is some rumors.
This is
There's
the
some rumors about some hidden distribution of the process of buying the NFTs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not a rumor. It's true.
Yeah.
Yes, but
It's-
how it
it's,
will look, we don't know it yet.
We don't really know it yet, but let's just say that a portion of the funds that we raise and that we manage will go to people who are some of the smartest people I know, and people who have over and over and over made amazing decisions when it came to buying NFTs, and who have agreed to join us and help in that process. And so yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah. So something that sounds a lot like some kind of decentralized fund managers
Exactly.
might be coming up
Exactly.
eventually.
So that's exciting.
Okay, nice. So that's one of the learnings that has been that you had. That what's the opposite of postponing? Preponing.
Preponing.
You preponed this.
For some reason, it sounds kind of dirty. Preponing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preponing. You preponed.
We preponed the decentralized fund managers.
Or fund managers.
But for full transparency, I'm feeling a bit dirty here for the listeners. We were supposed to have this chat kind of similar as this worst day of your life kind of situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And instead of having that chat, we had some war room chat instead. So I want to share this because it was a very nice experience. Me and Drunk Boy just joined in with the JPEGVault community, where you just shared the situation. You shared like where you were, and everyone together just joined in and together came up with a bunch of different solutions or
that was
action.
super helpful. Like they played such an important part in the following days. So still very
it was
grateful
a very
for
inspiring show of leadership. SV2.
Yeah,
now we're
thanks.
jerking
Shout
each
out
other off
to-
here in the podcast, but if listeners are not inclined to whitelist for alien friends and they don't want to become a asset manager, at least they should join the JPEGVault DAO to learn a little bit in how to properly be a leader in this space, because it was very inspiring.
I would love to
hear.
see a company do this where they just invite all the employees for, it's okay, this year we didn't do that well. Instead of just, behind closed doors, some of the guys just deciding to cut the costs, firing half of the people for example.
Yeah,
Now
we're
I
not
sound
there
like
yet.
I like even the companies that do this. It's not easy. I can't. I don't want to be in their shoes.
Yeah, it's never easy to deal with these situations. But that's kind of what I like about Web3, because when you're in those closed door situations and making all the decisions, you're okay, you have the freedom to make the decisions, but you also have to carry the weight of those decisions all on your own, and you have
Yeah.
to face the backlash, which is not an easy thing to do either. Whereas what we did, in my mind, looks a lot simpler because it takes some vulnerability and some being okay with the fact that you're not perfect and that you don't have all the answers at all time. But let's be honest, no one ever does have
Yeah,
all the answers
that's
at all
imposter
times.
syndrome right there.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so at least now it's not just one or two or three or five people making decisions. It's more people representing a wider part of the audience, and because we had, it was only 10 people, which is about, I don't know, 1% of the wait, is that right? Yeah, 1% of the Discord, but there were team members, and there were people from the marketing team, and then there were people from the audience, and then there were you guys who are kind of a bridge between like partners and community members. And like what came out was so juicy, so good, and we learned so much from it, and our what we the new direction, not the completely new direction that we took for the website, because we're on such short deadlines that we needed to keep some of the old, but yeah, a lot of the marketing messaging has changed, and the understanding of what we're doing has changed too, because it's one of my biggest, I'm starting to sound very French now. It's one of my biggest beliefs that, like, I have a company as well in the real world, and when I first got into it, I loved to be called CEO because it gave me a sense of importance, of like mattering. It gave me a status, like, yeah, I'm the one in charge. And then after 5 years of being an entrepreneur, the one thing that I like the most about this is that every single person who joins and who participate and contributes in a project kind of makes it their own. And that's what that's what I'm trying to build in my real estate business. And that's definitely what I'm trying in Web3, because that's what Web3 is all about. And like every single person who's in it owns it a little bit. And I love that. And they can bring something new to the space and diversity. And yeah, it's exciting, all of this.
And of course, to add to that, um, the more people you have being involved and want to be involved, the more viewpoints you're gonna get on the same problem. And it's never bad in a situation when it's a lot of ambiguity to get as many eyes on a problem as possible. And
Exactly.
that really, and you can't get that if you do it behind closed doors.
Never. Do you know about Wisdom of the Crowd?
Yes,
Yeah.
the bull, the guy that saw a bull, and then people estimated the weight of the bull, and then was very close to the bull itself, and then he figured out Wisdom of the Crowds. Kind of.
Huh.
That's the story
I
there.
did not know that was the origin story. I had the jelly beans one. But yeah,
Ah,
that's exactly it. And when you get people together and when they chat and you take out the essence of what they have, you have as close as it gets to the truth. Because only one opinion is always going to be very biased and
Yeah, I'm
far
gonna
from the
add the
truth.
groupthink here, but just
Yeah.
say that the
Yeah.
risk is that you will have groupthink, but
yes.
that's exactly where you come in, or like the leaders doesn't have to be one or you specifically, but if you can set the context right so that people actually say what they think instead of saying what they think that they should think, then that's what you get the truth.
Exactly. That's why I love in new organizations. That's what I love about the term facilitator, because if you're in a leadership position, if you're in a position where you have an understanding. That for me is my position in this project.
Mm.
I have a vision. I see where this thing could go, but I also understand that my vision is like it's only my vision. And so if new people come in who have ideas of where this thing could go, and there are other people who want to do that, then feel free and go ahead. And my role is just to make sure, like, facilitate and help the right people come into the right positions and help the right ideas come into fruition without putting too much of a bias on it.
It's very
This
well
could
said.
be, we could sell a leadership course right here.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's take everything out of this conversation that was good and make a 11-page book
Yeah.
that we can then
Dow
sell.
paper.
Yeah.
It
I
might be
some
the title of
legitimacy.
this podcast, the leadership
We
course,
should,
11-page leadership book by SV2.
but yeah, but I think this is the real leadership, because if you can get through the first part,
Yeah,
then you get some good stuff, and probably you're kind of ready to use it as well. Otherwise, I think all this stuff that we're talking about here, it's going to be a little bit like noise. If you don't want to hear it, then it's like, come on, give me something
Yeah.
else.
It's not for
I don't want to hear
everyone.
this.
It's
Yeah.
not for everyone. But that's what's going to be very trying for Web3, because you have so many people getting in only for the money, only for the hype, only because that's what everyone else is talking about. But I'm gonna throw myself some flowers. I think a good leader in Web3 is someone who doesn't really have an ego, and someone who's not doing it for themselves, but genuinely doing it for building something together. And
Yeah.
and that's honestly what I live for. Of course, I want to make money, and I want to have a nice life, and I want to one day have a family and all of this. So you need to make money. You still live in a capitalistic environment, but if you come in it for the money and if you build for the money, you're missing out on a whole lot, and it is likely that you're going to get beat by some other. That's why I'm so confident in us, because even though we are, like I was talking about Ethalion before, we are not getting everything right when it comes to like the more superficial hype stuff, because that's not really what we are inherently. So I'm really excited because everyone shares these vibes. Everyone wants to build something for a lot of people and build something together. So yeah, there's definitely a course on Web3 leadership somewhere in there. I'm happy to work on it with you guys.
Well,
That would be fun.
it'll be a series of
I think we have
podcasts,
one of our mentors right here for our projects that are incubated.
most likely.
Oh, please. I'd fucking love that. You were talking about me, right? Because maybe you're talking about
He's not
someone
talking
who
about
just
me. I
appeared
can't
in
mentor for shit,
in the
you know?
server.
I'm not fit to be mentoring anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, taking care of myself is,
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Understanding
For
how a
anyone who will
microphone
be
works.
I'm gonna
is,
take care of my ego.
Yeah.
First, I have my ego to take care of, and
Yeah.
then everything else.
That's quite the
And
beast.
was it any other learning or any other point that really stood out to you, SV2, that you think
Yeah.
anyone
I
looking
don't
to
know.
build their own shit should learn from
I
your
think
experiences?
that will maybe be more important for men than it is for women, but okay, we're gonna get really spiritual here.
Oh yes,
There
finally.
there's two
Finally.
types. There's two types of energies in this world: black, white, feminine, masculine, yin, yang, and men are mostly yang, and feminine is mostly yin, and masculine energy is, which is it, masculine and feminine energy don't necessarily relate to men and women, because we live in a society that promotes masculine energy heavily, and so you have a lot of women who have learned and act with a masculine energy, and I'm I was the stereotypical masculine energy person of go out there and just like break down walls and keep moving forward and keep just doing things, always doing something, always active. And that's one aspect of building things. That's one aspect of creating success and of achieving stuff. But there's the other side, which is the feminine one, which is to kind of just let things happen. You have man who makes things happen. You have female who let things happen. Men, women, masculine, feminine. You get it. And like when you talk about the law of attraction, it has a lot to do with finding the right balance, because you have to go out there and do things, but you also have to be in the right mindset, have the right energy, sit back and watch the fruits kind of come to you. And I've had a few times in my life where I've been very good at being too much in the feminine energy side of being in a very good mindset, but not really doing everything that I should be doing in order to the things that I wanted to come my way. And lately it's been the complete opposite of like Twitter and Discord and blockchain and this whole thing that just never stops, and there's always something to do, someone to talk to, something to prepare, something to build, an idea to act upon. It's really hard to let the feminine energy come out. And so that's the lesson that I'm learning these past couple of weeks, and that I'm trying to implement of, all right, you're doing a lot, and breathe for a bit and sit back and let some of that stuff that you're working so hard on just happen. It's not easy.
No, this is, I'm going to make a really bad but good connection here. When I started as a trainee at a bank, a lot of my trainee colleagues and me, we had completely different ways of going about it. I'm more the feminine type energy, so I just chill and think, okay, stuff's gonna happen. But most of the trainees, they had this masculine energy. They didn't get to where they were by not doing stuff. So they were like answering emails, they were doing stuff all the time. But since I was a little bit more like awaited and stuff like this, then the more senior leaders, they were like interested, like, who's this guy? Why isn't he always doing stuff? And the trainee managers were giving me the opportunities to try out new stuff, while the other ones that were working so hard, they never just chilled in order for someone to be able to approach them.
Ask and the universe shall deliver. But you need to manifest your will.
To make my I wouldn't, if since I didn't do anything, that all those opportunities also was completely wasted, because they get interested and then like, what's this guy about? And then you meet a guy who's, I like to watch things happen a lot, and I'm not gonna do your work for you, because that's what you want if you're an executive or in a management position. You're just looking for someone who is really like can do things for you but still have some kind of mind of their own.
Yeah, true. But there's a balance in all things. That's the utmost difficult thing. But if you don't know about the two sides of the coin, I'm very talking platitudes here. If you don't understand the two sides of the coin, it's going to be very difficult to find that balance, because you're going to be finding a local maxima instead of a global maxima.
That's good. Do we have any more way to? We have a spiritual way to explain it. We have a bank trainee way to explain it. More like a local maxima minima way to explain it. Do we have any other perspectives?
It's like you want it to be. If you want it to be lukewarm, you need to add certain amounts of warm water and also cold water in order to find that perfect temperature.
Or you just piss.
You can piss, but it's gonna get cold after a while.
No,
It's gonna be
We
warm
went
and nice
very
in the
high,
beginning,
very
but it's just gonna
fast,
be cold.
and came back down just as fast.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we should stop
Let's
on
talk
that.
about piss some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Have you
we can stop on that.
Maybe let's
Gossip
make a
the
note.
next episode.
Please, for the next episode, come tune in and hear us talking about piss.
I'm glad I'm not doxxed yet. I'll think about it twice before I come on when I've revealed my
Yeah, this
my
is the
real
problem.
identity.
This is what's good with all of a sudden it's more you can be more vulnerable when you're not yourself. I mean you are yourself, but
You're
you don't
even
have
more
to
yourself, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gives you some freedom.
Yeah. But I think you haven't been a bad boy today.
No.
You can
No,
You've been good.
doing okay. I still haven't really come around to talking publicly about the whole psychedelic stuff, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's I think it's for the good.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people doing that, so
Yeah, you don't need to.
Slowly,
Yeah.
I want to.
yeah. I
Man.
mean,
I think it might be the
Piss and
chapter
psychedelics.
3 or the leadership course, how you take
Yeah.
psychedelics to become a better leader, and also
Honestly,
piss.
Honestly, you're joking. I'm not.
No,
I
no,
agree.
no. That's just you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I'm already like thinking about what would I. There are some general advice that I could give, but also try it.
Yeah.
That's more. Yeah, you can't teach someone how to ride a bike. They just have to ride it. But I guess you can be there. I don't know, holding them or something.
You can have like the
Picking them
little
up when they fall.
thing in the
If
back.
you're listening to this, don't just try it. There's a few prescriptions to make sure
Yeah.
to
Tripsafe.org.
follow. Yeah, trip safely.
Yeah.
Tripsafe.org. Rollsafe.org. PSA.
Is that a real
Yes.
website?
It's 2 websites
Trip
for
safe.
MDMA and psychedelics. How you should trip
Yeah,
safe.
there's a bunch of do your research.
Yes.
Do your own research. Also try to go about it not alone, but also I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Don't
This is
listen
so
to a
cool.
drunk boy and a badger giving you advice on
Yeah,
psychedelics.
yeah.
That's not the play here.
I think you can
roll
listen to our podcasts. We have some nice pictures. They might help.
Yeah.
They might be done for that exact purpose. I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah. Right. And
It's been fun.
our hour is good.
Let's see if
done.
you can get this guy to
It's
get the
always
fuck
a
out.
pleasure. Now
Yeah,
Badgerton is
really
gonna
is.
cut this out in audible.
Inaudible?
Yeah, inaudible.